In the last hour, Armenian opposition leader calls new rally for Wednesday. In the last 2 hours, thousands march in LA to mark anniversary of Armenian genocide. In the last 4 hours, Armenian crisis talks cancelled the Armenian protests and the Euromaidan Effect Armenian opposition leader urges to resume protest actions. Armenian opposition leader calls rally for Wednesday. Political transition unclear after abrupt resignation of Armenia's PM. Armenian opposition leader says he is ready to lead in the last 6 hours. Pashinyan insists on transfer of power. Armenian opposition leader says ready to lead country. Armenian opposition says talks with ruling party cancelled. Armenian politician who forced PM's resignation stakes claim to power. Armenia ponders life without strongman. Sarkisyan in the last 8 hours risk foresight. Armenians protest as Sarkisyan elected prime minister. Armenians await change of government after peaceful revolt. Armenia's political transition unclear after PM's ouster. Opposition leader Pashinyan says ready to become Armenia's prime minister. A velvet revolution turns bloody. 10 dead in Toronto, U.S. Envoy hails spirit of democracy in Armenia. Armenian politician who forced PM's resignation leads thousands in march. News.am breaking news in a video. The 24th of April 2018, Armenia marks Remembrance Day following Sarkisyan's resignation. What will change in Armenia after Sarkisyan resignation? Yesterday opinion. Armenians must forge their own future in wake of Armenia's peaceful uprising. Diaspora's cloud is questioned. Armenian revolution, Russian influence to remain amid power shift. Armenia's democratic triumph. Armenia marks anniversary of massacre. Mass protests led Armenian leader to quit after just a week in office. New beginning for Armenia after PM quits. What does turmoil in Armenia spell for Russia? Op-ed. Armenia in Russia, bottlenecks on the way to the future. Belarus leader says he can share some of his powers but not yet. Opposition MP leads massive crowd to Armenian genocide memorial. Georgia, mixed reactions over Armenia protests. Armenia acting PM thanks all police. Kremlin, we don't regard turmoil in Armenia as Ukraine-style revolution. U.S. ambassador, we do not forget 1.5 million Armenians. Opposition movement participants are at Republic Square in Yerevan. Video, Kremlin, turmoil in Armenia not Ukraine-style revolution, a velvet revolution that Putin can live with. Balance of power pace hails Serge Sarkisyan's resignation. EU supports efforts to settle current situation in Armenia through dialogue. Armenia marks anniversary of massacre day after Sarkisyan's resignation. Pace co-rapporteurs welcome Serge Sarkisyan's courageous decision. Kremlin, we don't regard tumult in Armenia as Ukraine-style revolution. Kremlin, we don't regard tumult in Armenia as Ukraine-style revolution. President of Armenia commented on protests. Armenia, not another color revolution. U.S. Envoy hails former Armenian PM's leadership after resignation. Armenian president points out causes of people protests. USA ambassador, we look forward to working with acting Armenia PM Switalski. EU support Armenia in deepening democracy. Armenia marks Ottoman massacres after leader quits. Victory for Armenian protests. Sarkisyan has resigned. France president on Armenian genocide. We will never forget. Armenia's prime minister resigns after just 6 days. Prime Minister of Armenia Sarkisyan resigned. 36-year-old demonstrator suffers heart attack, dies in Yerevan. Rally in Armenia, cautious optimism, uncertainty, follows shock. Resignation. Armenian PM Sarkisyan resigns. Thousands celebrate in Yerevan. Sometimes Armenian protests are just Armenian protests. Armenian premier steps down after 11 days of protests. Armenia, after protests, Prime Minister to step down.